All right, my friends, let's start here. On behalf of Lisa and I, we want to wish each and every one of you a happy Easter. Our Lord has risen, and the true meaning of this day should never be forgotten. Now, of course, all the forces around us would love you to forget what the actual meaning is. This has been going on for years, and we've seen in recent stories a little bit of what we're going to cover today, why that always takes center stage on the most holy of days, but we'd expect nothing less now, would we? So before we head out to celebrate this day, Lisa and I again want to wish each and every one of you a happy Easter. We love you all. I hope you can all do me a huge favor today. While Lisa's not here, make sure you're subscribed to her channel. If you're new here, we'd love you to join. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure your bell is checked to all so you're alerted to all upcoming broadcasts. She'll also put a link just above to my channel. Please subscribe there if you want to see us both. No commercials, no interruptions, plus all the exclusive content, plus all the chat, plus communicating with us daily. That's at restrictedrepublic.com. That family has grown exponentially. We want you to be a part of it. Right now, to enjoy it, use discount code RR39 at annual checkout. RR39 will get you $39 a year. That's the annual rate. I'm going to hold that annual rate for 3 years plus 14 days for free. Again, RR39. $39 a year. We're going to hold that rate for each of 3 years plus 14 days free. Get there today. We love you all. Now let's get back to this broadcast. So let's start here. Now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2024 as Transgender Day of Visibility. And the White House got rocked immediately thereafter, but the true irony was in a statement just underneath that. About 5 words that we're going to get to here rather quickly. Of course, X, aka Twitter, lit up. You see it go up. The postings of how popular it is. The White House, well, we've seen enough of that, haven't we? The proclamation on Transgender Day of Visibility of 2024, but we have to get a few facts here straight. The state of New York, Kathy Hochul, we'd expect nothing less, also putting out her proclamations. A lot of proclamations coming out. We've come a long way from scenes like this. This is what the skies used to look like Easter week. You see there in 1956, skyscrapers in New York displayed crosses for Easter to celebrate Jesus, who says, "I give my life for you." But now, of course, that's long since passed. The message has now completely changed, hasn't it? Tower lit up pink to celebrate abortion at the time. When Troy, the Biden White House has released a statement proclaiming that tomorrow, Easter Sunday, which is now today, is now Transgender Visibility Day. Of course, I'll give you their explanation here. Transgender Day of Visibility began 15 years ago. The founder is still moved by its success. And it just so happened that this year, see, back in 2009, it was on April 12th. This is the explanation you'll be given. This year, it does fall on March 31st, as I denoted right here. And we won't see March 31st again, Easter, until 2086, but it's not what we should be talking about. 145 calendar days celebrating LGBTQ+. Did you know that? The White House, on one side, celebrating this. But it is the announcement that Joe Biden decided to make. You see, he could have made many choices in this case. No one's throwing barbs at anyone here. Not what we do. But there was timing that Biden could have chosen. Of course, he made a choice, being Catholic, on Easter Sunday, to proclaim and to announce and to recognize this holiday. You see, there's other choices that could have been made that would have kept the temperature down a bit, but that's not what the Biden administration does. Now, is it? No, they like to continue. Oh, wait. By the way, again, back to that coincidence that it just so happened to fall on March 31st. Well, celebrating National Guard families, Easter traditions at the White House. Remember, the submittals for these Easter eggs could not include, the submission must not include any questionable content, religious symbols, or overtly religious themes. Now the messaging of the White House becomes a bit more consistent, and it put everyone on edge. Not okay for religious symbols on Easter eggs, but okay for the White House symbolism and whatever they so choose when they so deem it to be appropriate. But that's not only the White House now, is it? Here's Google on Easter. If you look really closely down there, a little happy Easter from them. This was on Good Friday, and this was Pride Month. So the American people are seeing through this, of course. Karine Jean-Pierre. On Transgender Day of Visibility, the Biden-Harris administration honors the extraordinary courage and contributions of transgender Americans and reaffirms our nation's commitment to forming a more perfect union where all people are treated equally. You see, the White House doubles down, as so many administration officials have to come to Biden's aid. This year, transgender Americans have faced an onslaught of hateful attacks. As the POTUS has said, transgender youth are some of the bravest people he knows, and they deserve to live their lives free from hate. Nobody's hating anyone, but everyone is allowed to have an opinion. As difficult as that is for any administration that doesn't want you to have an opinion, at least anything contrary to theirs. Rachel Levine came out. Is this Sunday, March 31st. Transgender Day of Visibility is this Sunday, March 31st. Read statements from the HHS. Secretary Xavier Becerra this morning, as we've done throughout this administration. HHS flew to transgender flag to honor Transgender Day of Visibility on Sunday. Our decision to speak up or not in the face of injustice sends a message. It's on all of us to teach the next generation love, not hate. And again, which injustice? Contrary opinion? But the administration has a contrary opinion to me. Do I call that an injustice or their opinion? We have a right to it. Maybe we should have a holiday for that. The Biden White House has betrayed the central tenet of Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which it is, from Speaker Mike Johnson, who I've taken issue with as of late, but in this statement I agree with. Banning sacred truth and tradition while at the same time proclaiming Easter Sunday as Transgender Day is outrageous and abhorrent. The American people are taking note, and we are. But again, how important it is to moderate the discussion. Remember, as we're going to report on tomorrow on my channel, well, the FBI is watching your social media posts, and it appears they think they have a right to just show up at your doorstep and ask you about it. Oh, wait till you watch this report tomorrow. Matt Walsh coming out a little bit stronger. I have as low an opinion of Biden as you could possibly have, and yet this is so outrageously evil that I had to check to make sure it was real. It is. Our Catholic president has chosen the highest holiday of the Christian calendar to celebrate transgenderism. All we have to do is go back to the origin statement. From the symbol up on top, representing Easter as the holiday, not the religious side that it should be representing. Remember those words in our Constitution, which are ever so important, but yet don't seem to make any difference, and even the Biden administration forgets not to tread on that. Remember the opening statement. Now, therefore, I, Joseph R. Biden Jr., President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim March 31st, 2024 is Transgender Day of Visibility, and just below, in witness whereof, in the year of our Lord, Joseph R. Biden Jr. How on one side can you fail to recognize or even mention what the holiday was meant to stand for? Recognize something else that happens to fall on the same date, but then in the bottom, in the year of our Lord. So, Joseph, what do you believe in? Because I think America is a little bit confused, and you could have chosen just not to say anything, to recognize it maybe in a year that it didn't fall on March 31st, but that's not what you chose to do. Now, I understand with your voting block, you're in a very precarious situation, because if you fail to do it, oh man, all hell's going to come down on you now, isn't it? But if you do recognize it, well, I guess all hell comes down on you now, doesn't it? You see, when you make a deal with the devil, it's really tough to get out of it now, isn't it, Joe? But the world is making different deals now, aren't they? How Ramadan is muscling out Easter all over Europe. 30,000 Ramadan lights festooned across London. A Muslim crescent flag flying atop Westminster Abbey. Jam-packed mosques while church pews are fast emptying. It appears there's a counter-movement to Easter now, isn't there? And it's not only in the United States, but as with everything else, we're following suit as quickly as humanly possible, running into the oblivion that we will all face if we continue to tread down these paths and fall further away from God, which we are allowed to believe in and preach and discuss, even though the U.S. government doesn't seem to believe that anymore and hasn't for quite some time. So if we intend on being like France or Europe or any other area in that neck of the woods, well, we just continue to do what we're doing. You've seen the stories that come out of those areas. And America's quickly following suit, but I guess that's been the agenda, hasn't it? And now the agenda can change, and this is where we need to focus. Trump 2024 puts out his statement from Trump campaign on Joe Biden's blasphemous declaration of Trans Visibility Day on Easter Sunday. It is appalling and insulting, he states, that Joe Biden's White House prohibited children from submitting religious egg design for their Easter art event and formally proclaimed Easter Sunday as Transgender Visibility Day. Sadly, these are just two more examples of the Biden administration's year-long assault on the Christian faith. We call on Joe Biden's failing campaign and the White House to issue an apology to the millions of Catholics and Christians across America who believe tomorrow is for one celebration only, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which those Christians and Catholics would automatically believe it. Trump and I may slightly diverge here. If the other side would like to celebrate something different, they have the absolute right to do so. It doesn't make it right in my eyes, of course, nor yours, but I wouldn't stop it. I just wouldn't recognize it. You see, that could have changed everything, couldn't it? They have a right to celebrate whatever they want. Doesn't mean I'll be joining them. Doesn't mean I have to join them. Just means I have to have the respect and allow them the freedom to celebrate whatever they so choose. See, it's a slightly different take at something that everybody struggles with. Remember, in the year of our Lord. See, it's so funny because many will just see the tab and what channel this video is on and think it's strewn with hate. It's not. Never has been. Yeah, we have opinions, and everyone here in America is allowed to have those opinions, but let's read some words that, well, they just want us all to forget now, don't they? He is risen. Now after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat on it. His countenance was like lightning, and his clothes as white as snow, and the guards shook for fear of him, and became like dead men. But the angel answered and said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus Christ who was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And indeed, he is going before you into Galilee. There you will see him. Behold, I have told you," because the only thing we should be focused on today is that our Lord has risen. And there is nothing that the White House or the Biden administration will ever be able to do to change that. Well, for me, for my beautiful wife, for our audience, and for everyone else who understands what this day truly stands for. So on behalf of Lisa and I, we love you all. And again, wishing you each a very happy Easter and Resurrection Day. Our Lord has risen. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.